My name is Chandra Massner, and I'm an associate professor of communication at the University of Pikeville.
How long have you been at UPike?
I've been at UPike, this is my 25th year teaching.
Quarter of a century, right?
Yeah.
Wow. So, as a kid, did you think you were going to be a professor of communication?
Not at all. In fact, my goal when I went to college was to be a reporter. I wanted to write for print, for newspapers, magazines, and when I got to college, I was a journalism student, and then I got introduced to the creative world of advertising, and I actually did a journalism major in advertising, and when I graduated, the economy was really down. It was a recession, and I started teaching as a substitute for local high school, and then that led to a full-time position as a teacher's aide in a behavior disordered classroom, and I realized that I love teaching. I taught kids who society had written off as bad kids, and I worked with them all day, and some of them couldn't do something as simple as like division. And it was because nobody had taken the time to explain it to them in a way that made sense to them. And I had a couple of boys that I'll never forget when the light bulb came on and they understood what division was. And because they just kept telling me, I can't. And they were teenagers, they were in high school. And they couldn't do 4 divided by 2. And when the light bulb went on and they understood what it was, they were so excited. And that's when I knew, wow, I want to teach. And so then I was like, I'd really like to teach what I love. So I went back to graduate school and got graduate work in communication so that I could teach my love, which is communication and journalism.
Wow. So, obviously, a long-term career in this field, but a dream job. Are you living it, or what would be a dream job for you?
Yeah, I love what I do. I can't think of anything that I would enjoy as much. I started here out of graduate school teaching at the University of Pikeville, and I thought I would be here maybe a couple of years. But I loved my students. I loved what I taught. I started teaching developmental English, and then I got to move into teaching communication. I got to build the program, so I built the curriculum, and I've been teaching in the program ever since we've had the major in communication, and I've watched students graduate, go on and have successful careers. I'm very proud of my alumni. I feel like I make a difference, and that's why I don't think I would change anything. I mean, the only other job that I would want to do is maybe get paid to just travel the world. But other than that, I pretty much love what I do here.
Hmm. So, when you think about your life and your dreams, and you talk about this moment where students, they're like, it comes on and they can do this stuff, But anything else in life that happened to spur you on towards this path?
Well, I was always a good student. I always loved school. I loved my teachers, and I loved writing. And so when the opportunity, when I figured out that I wanted to teach and that I wanted to do, I thought it would be really cool to get to teach what I love, and then the more I learned about it, the more I realized that going on in graduate school would allow me to stay on a college campus, then that's what I wanted to do. Because actually when I was in college, I was an RA. I was very involved in residence life. And I actually applied and was accepted to a college student personnel program for a master's degree. But I graduated in November and it started in January, and I couldn't find a way to make my car payment. I needed a job, so I had to turn down that first graduate program that I was accepted to, and that's when I discovered the love for teaching. And so then when I discovered that love, then I still wanted to be on a college campus. So I tried to make all of my loves kind of happen together: college and teaching and journalism. And that's what tied everything in for me. And I worked first for a small company, and I did advertising while I was going to graduate school. And then I started being a TA, and I got to teach a journalism classroom, much like the classroom that I teach in now. And I got to assist students at UK learning how to do journalism. And then I also assisted their advertising club, which was a competition club. And so I still got to do advertising for a while then, and that was fun. And then when I moved here, I got to build the program and the curriculum and really try to blend our program with practical experience as well as theoretical experience, so that students are prepared to either go to graduate school in some area or to start working. And we try to make sure that everybody's ready for one path or another, because everybody's journey is going to be a little bit different, and we want everybody to be ready no matter what the future holds for them.
As a journalist, I know that many times you're on a word count, put your students on a word count for articles, and so we're going to put you on a word count. If you could summarize your sense of call or purpose in a sentence, what are you called to? What's your purpose?
I think my call is to make a difference in students' lives.
This may be a moot point then to ask the question, but do you feel like your current job aligns with that call?
Yes, that's why I love what I do. I love my students, I love my colleagues. I have a heart for the mission of the University of Pikeville. I really take that to heart, that we're here to give opportunity to students that otherwise wouldn't have opportunity probably. And it is so rewarding to see when a student gets here as a freshman and when a student leaves as a senior, how they've grown and changed. That makes it all worthwhile. And then when your alumni come home and they've got families and they're making a difference in the community, in the region, it's exciting. It's like I get to be a proud mom to hundreds of kids, and that's awesome.
You've been very influential in a lot of people's lives, right? It's very evident when alums come back, they come to your office, right? They want to come see you or reach out to you. But for you, in discovering your sense of self and call and purpose, who's been influential to help you in that?
Probably my mom at first, I would say, because she instilled in me very young that I could be anything I wanted to be. And so that was really important to me, to have someone that I knew that supported me and that encouraged me to do whatever I wanted, no matter what. My dad too, he was always supportive to me as well. but since my mom was a woman and she was a stay-at-home mom and she devoted her life to her kids, she wanted to make sure that I felt like I didn't need anybody and that I could do it all on my own and I could do whatever I wanted to do. So it was really important for her that I felt that way. And then I think probably probably a couple of teachers in high school that also encouraged me in that way. My first journalism teacher, William Parrish, who I had when I was like in 7th grade, he was the one who helped me find my love for journalism and for writing. So I'd say that those are the most influential people.
Mm. You know, you talked about students as your kids. That's been a huge part of the way that you teach and you're involved with students. But also part of your call has been to be a really great mom, right? And how has that influenced your sense of self and call to about being an actual mom? Because you do it so well.
Yeah, I'm really blessed. I have probably the best daughter in the world, and she gave my life, I think, defining purpose. So she completed me, and I'm a single mom, so we spent a lot of time together, and we're very, very close. And I'm very proud of her because her call was really different. My dad is an engineer, and he's retired now, but he was a civil engineer, and he very much wanted me to be an engineer, and I didn't want to be an engineer. I was good at math and science, but I really didn't like it. And so I told him, no, that's not going to happen. So my daughter is a senior, and she's a chemical engineer. So the engineer skipped a generation, but he's getting his engineer now. So I encouraged her to be what she wanted to be and to find what she loved and then to make that her calling and what she wanted to do with her life. And so she loved math, and then she loved chemistry, and so she's blended those into chemical engineering. But having her completed me, it kept me very busy. We were very active when she was young. She's still very, very active, and she grew up on this campus. So most of my alumni remember her at some age. She walked, the first night that she walked a basketball blast off across the U-Pike gym. And that was the first time she really kind of walked on her own multiple steps. So it was a pretty big deal. And a lot of people remember when she was a little toddler dancing in front of the pep band and all of the activities that she's been involved in while she was here. So she's been blessed to get to hang out with college students her whole life. I mean, the U-Pike Hill has been her second home.
Mm. So if someone's watching this video and they say, you know what, you are doing everything I want, you are living out my dream, what did you do to position yourself for this job and career?
I think first thing that you want to do is really find what you love. And if you think that you love teaching, you want to teach what you're passionate about. And that's why when I teach public speaking and we talk about how teachers really are public speakers, and people don't think about that. I think the most challenging teachers that we have in our society are elementary school teachers, because they have to teach every subject. And that's tough, because everybody has a favorite. You know, everybody's got something that they love, and you have got to, if you're an elementary school teacher, you have to sell every subject, like that you love everything. And that's really hard to do. So I would say pick the subject that you feel passionate about. And if you want to teach, then that's the subject that you should teach. for me it was journalism communication, but my second love is history, so if I had a backup, it would have been history. That was my minor in college. I love history. And sometimes I wonder, should I have been a history teacher? But I love what I do because I feel like it positions students to do whatever they want to do in life. So teach your passion, and you shouldn't be a teacher unless you are passionate about helping others and teaching. I know that some people go into education just because they can't think of anything else to do, or because everybody in my family is a teacher or something like that, and that's the wrong reason. I feel like teaching is definitely a calling. Just like I think if you're a nurse or a doctor, that should be a calling. It shouldn't be because you want a paycheck. You know, there are some professions that are so service oriented. You've got to be passionate about it to be able to do it every day. And I feel like teaching is like that. It has been for me.
So in all of these years and all the conversations you've had with students, clearly you have students who come across your path and they have no idea. They just have none, right? They're taking these classes or in college but have no idea. What do you say to people who have no idea about their own call?
That you're probably a communication major. If you're not, then perhaps you should be, because communication is going to allow you to be positioned to do anything that you want in life. So communication is a great major by itself. It also makes a good second major or minor for any other major that we have on campus. And communicate, if you look at any classified ad anywhere, on the internet, in a newspaper, anywhere, it's going to say good communication skills. And that's both oral and written. And that's what our program does, is we try to give you opportunities to really strengthen your oral and your written skills. And so for people who aren't sure, I think maybe you're a communication major. Come to the dark side. We have cookies. And we will help you hopefully discover your path. But I have students that go on and they become lawyers, they become teachers, they become coaches, they work in the media, they work for nonprofit organizations, they work in public relations, they're managers of retail or restaurants. Any number of fields my students go into. So if you're really not sure and you're looking for a good flexible major, that's us.